Okay, cool. I think we're live, maybe. Did it work? No. Ah, sweet. All right, well, figured out how to make this all work finally. So sorry about the delay, fucking Snounder time or whatever. Shit was kind of difficult to figure out at first. But yeah. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I'm gonna fire up a joint and let's go ahead and get rolling. Sweet. Glad we finally made it. Because yeah, that's kind of hard to figure out. Last time I just kind of did it randomly, and yeah, this time I tried to schedule it, and apparently the setup's way different. But yeah, how is everybody doing today? I'm gonna go ahead and fire up some King's Kush here, super fire strain. Love this shit. It's OG Kush crossed with Grape Ape. One of my favorites to grow. This one actually greenhouse seeds, and we ordered a bunch of seeds back when I used to run a dispensary, and was able to have like a fuck ton of plants. And we had fired up a bunch of seeds, and there we go. And we cracked 50 seeds actually, which was pretty cool that we were able to do that. Crack 50 seeds and documented every single one of them, and it was a lot of fun. And took notes on all of them, and we're able to get them all tested. We picked the one that was the best for us, and see if we can dig it. So, all right. Well, yeah. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about hydro versus soil. So a lot of people always ask, which one should I go with? And yeah, they're not sure. So, oh yeah, for sure. And if anybody has any questions, go ahead and fire away. Totally. I mean, that's why we are here. That's why I'm here to basically to get people this question answered. But yeah, so and that's a great question as far as a website for seeds goes, because we just linked up with a website called seedsherenow.com. Super cool website. The guys there are really awesome, and they're actually going to be helping us out. We're going to be doing monthly giveaways where we get to give away seeds. It's going to be pretty cool. They carry quite a few brands. A few of my friends here in Colorado that are actually breeders, they are going to be carrying their shit as well. Again, it's just seedsherenow.com. So, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, basically want to talk about hydro versus soil and which one's easier. So I actually started off in my closet growing a little bit of soil, was doing some organic soil, worked pretty well, and quickly jumped into hydroponics. And I actually like hydroponics a lot more. It's a lot easier for me because I think it's honestly a lot easier for everybody once you kind of get it all set up, because everything's automated. All the pumps feed all your plants. Like we just switched up our garden to cocoa this round. We actually went from 24 plants is what we usually have in there. We lowered it down to 13 or 14 plants just because they're 15-gallon smart pots with cocoa. And it's a lot more work, actually, to grow soil. Or that's not even soil, that's cocoa, which is technically hydroponics, I guess. But just having those pots without the automated watering system, and they're big-ass pots, so I have to water them for a few minutes each. A lot more work and kind of a pain in the ass, honestly. I do like what comes off of cocoa, though, and that's why we're trying it. We also want to get some new content for you guys, because we've got, all our videos are pretty much hydroponics for the most part, because that's how we've been growing. So I want to switch it up, document some of that process, and, really learn what's going on there. Nice, cocoa. Yeah, a couple people are saying cocoa, yeah. So cocoa ready mix, I haven't used that. As far as, let's see, like cocoa ready mix, I haven't used that, but I used Canna cocoa this round. So we used Canna and Botanicare. Tried both of those out, see how those work out, and we mixed them with tuber a little bit of tuber, which is like a cocoa, perlite, a little bit of moss, and a couple other things in there. There you go. held it in for you there. No, I know. I just kind of like smoke it with a cigarette. I don't know why. But cool. So somebody was asking about CMH, that ceramic metal halides. Is that what you're wondering about? And then somebody said it wasn't spam, by the way. It was a serious question. There's like auto spam filters on here, so it might have. Shadow Guild was saying that. I have no idea what the question was. So yeah, I might have missed that. Right. Should I be using bigger than a 5-gallon bucket for outdoor plants? Yeah, for sure, man. Those outdoor plants, like we just put a video out of my friend's garden, which is an outdoor garden. And it's pretty cool. They have 100-gallon smart pots that they're using. And the growing season is really long, so you're going to need a bigger pot for sure, so the roots can like grow and your plant can get big enough. Playing music for your plants, yeah. I've heard people doing that. I do when I'm in the garden. Like I have a little, I don't know where it is, it's somewhere around here, little Bluetooth speaker that I bring with me, pop it in the garden, lets me listen to music also while I'm watering. I've been in there a lot more recently because like my hydro setup was very automated, and that's I guess I kind of forgot what we were going to talk about. So hydroponics though. I like hydroponics a lot more. My garden was very, very automated. All I had to do was spend about 5 minutes in there a day, which was really cool. Minus the work days, And like work days, obviously we have to go in, trim the lower thirds, train the plants, set up the nets, all that shit takes a while. But like besides that, the hydroponic method's super fucking easy. And all we had to do, everything's on a timer. I had to pop in like once a day in pH, TDS, and top off. And that's about it. And like one of the reasons I do like hydro a little bit more, and you can do this with soil by testing your runoff, but like I was running recirculating hydro systems. And so when everything is recirculating, you put nutrients in your reservoir, right? And they all like get pumped into your plants, drain off into the bottom, and then you can test that water the next day. And like, did the pH change? Did the total dissolved solids change? Like, if you have a big spike in your TDS, you're probably feeding your plants too hot or too much food, and you kind of back off and kind of go that way. It just gives you, at least me, a better idea of what's really going on with my plants, and that was always pretty cool with hydro. So now we're growing, soil again, and soil is more forgiving. Like, if you make a mistake in your hydroponic system, and let's say you like feed them too much, and you don't catch that very quickly, you're going to burn your plants, and it's going to like mess up your plants a bit, or you can get lockout a little bit easier, things like that. But soil is more forgiving, and basically, if you feed them too hot one time, you just hit them with some water next, and you're not going to hurt your plants. Let's see, we got a few. Do the flowers dedicate energy to seed production if only a few flowers are pollinated? Like whole buds got pollinated, or just like individual spots? Because I've had a couple seeds, and it will take some energy away for sure. But I know they do put a lot of energy into seed production, and so any seeds probably take some away, but I'm not 100% sure on that though. I have not checked out that Facebook picture. Benefits of using cocoa versus soil. So so cocoa is an inert growing medium. We got this new little kitten running around. It's climbing over here. So cocoa is an inert growing medium, and soil is not. And what I mean by inert is like soil is made up of organic materials, and those will start to break down, and your plant can feed off of those. So there's additional nutrients and things in your soil, essentially. Cocoa is inert, which means it has no nutrients in it. So it's basically just a substrate. And you can plant your plant in it, and that's it. It's for the roots. So you have to add all of your fertilizer and all the food that your plant wants, or that your plant needs, without that inert growing medium, or with the inert growing medium, sorry. And soil, a lot of times you can feed it teas. You don't have to add additional nutrients, at least for a while, depending on the soil. But there's like super soils that you don't really ever have to feed. You just add some teas and different things like that. So yeah, that's kind of the difference. So it depends. I like the inert growing mediums better because I know exactly what I'm putting into my plants. And I also use like reverse osmosis water. So we just, the water is straight water, and there's no nutrients or anything that's going to break down in the cocoa, or like rock wool also, kind of. And so you know exactly what you're feeding your plant with. No, it doesn't take 5 minutes to check the pH. I also like poke around, make sure like my lines are good, all that stuff, you know. So yeah, and I have to water like the mothers and shit like that too. So, but for the most part, the flower room is very abundant, which is cool. When should I top my plants? So definitely wait till they get at least a few nodes and start to get some side growth, right? You're not going to want to like just top your plant all of a sudden and just stunt its growth when it's little. So I mean, let it get. It kind of depends on the plant too, because some are a lot shorter. But let it have a few nodes for sure, because when you do top it, what it's going to do is basically stop the growth completely from the top, and the side branches are going to start to pop out, and or like just basically catch up, because there's like this hormone auxins or chemical or whatever it is. It's called auxins though, and they sit in the top of the plant. And when you top your plant, it redistributes those, and that's responsible for it like growing up. So yeah, so it just depends how big they are. Also, if you want to keep them shorter, top them a little earlier, but definitely make sure that they have a couple minutes. What I use to keep the product fresh? I use Boveda bags a lot of times. I just drop them in my jars. Keeps everything humidified, or just jars also, like mason jars, pretty much. What if you have a power outage in hydro? Well, if you have a power outage, then your lights aren't going to be working either. So I don't know. Just check your shit. If you do have a power outage, you can hand water your hydro for sure. Like it's not bad. If your pump's out, you just scoop the water and hand water it. When do you know to flush? I start flushing when okay, so one of them took 12 weeks. Yeah. So I always just use a jeweler's loop. We actually put up a video a couple weeks ago about checking your trichomes. That is loud. Yeah, about checking your trichomes and what you should be looking for. So we look for like 60% amber, 40% milky, or sometimes the opposite, depending on indica or sativa, whatever. But start flushing around then. How much time do we cure our nugs? I mean, until we smoke them, really. So they're kind of always curing in the jars. So just make sure to burp them, that they're not too wet. You don't get them too hot. Like I ruined a jar of weed by leaving it, and it got all hot and had a little too much moisture in it. Turned it all brown and started smelling like shit. Cool. Let's see. Thinking about using cocoa in the next round. Yeah, it's been different. Like, I definitely underfed them. I should have done a little more research before switching to cocoa, I guess. But yeah, it's been a little bit different. More work as far as watering. Transplanting was kind of a bitch, and it's like 15 gallons. So yeah, cocoa was cool though. I really like end product that comes off of cocoa. It's super cool. Cool. Yeah, no, it's not a cat and he. It's just a baby kitten. So we got a little kitten. Yeah, and these Q and A's always go to the YouTube channel right after this. I think the same video URL just pops it over to YouTube. Nice. Let's see. Cool. Cool. Well, yeah. Any other questions? I don't know. I was kind of just like jumping on here to test this thing out again. I tried the scheduled session. Apparently, I don't know. I think I fixed it though. But it started working, so it was a little different. So kind of just playing around. Any videos you guys want in particular? Also, like we're working on making a whole course basically, like start to finish, from like grow rooms to all that stuff. Trying to make videos. There's kind of a lot of videos though, so we'll have that kind of coming out sometime soon. How do I do my clones? I basically just have a mother take a razor blade, cut a branch off, dip it in cloning gel, cut the lower branches off, and put it in whatever I'm cloning in, really. And then throw like a heat mat under it, keep some humidity in there, because when they don't have roots, they have to take up like moisture from the leaves and shit. And that's how they like don't wilt. And then they'll just start to pop roots out. Ideal stage to take clones from a plant. Just whenever, man. I mean, there's probably an ideal stage, yeah. Like, ideally, it'd be like a mature plant that's really healthy, not in flowering, of course. It's got to be a veg. You can take clones from a flowering plant, but then once they root, they have to revert back to veg, and so it takes a lot longer. But I've had to do that before because we lost a tray. If you're having trouble germinating seeds, you might just have bad seeds, or it might be like I don't know how. It depends how you're doing it. Like I've soaked them in water before. I've done paper towels. The paper towel method works pretty well. You just get a paper towel wet, fold it up, put your seeds in the middle of it, fold them, and then throw that in a Ziploc bag and put it like on top of your refrigerator or somewhere warm, and they should germinate, and then you can just transplant those right into whatever else. So. Which nutrients did I run on cocoa? So my buddy he has a nutrient company that's called Uncle Wiggy's. It's not on the market yet, so we've been testing that. He's actually going to be launching it in the next month or two here. He's going through whatever he has to do to get it onto the shelf or on the shelves, things like that. So yeah, that's what I've been using basically. So I've been testing it for him. It's cool. Two 1.5-month-old plants in 5-gallon buckets. What should I do with them? Do you know if they're males or females? I mean, if they're females, I would flower them out or cut them down into clones into smaller plants. But it depends how many plants you want to have and all that. What's a good amount of plants to have on an 8x4 flood table in flower and pot sizes? So we were running our flood tables were 4 feet wide by 2 feet, and so we had 4x8. We had 4x8 actually, so we had the exact same amount of flood tables as you were talking about, Alan. And basically, we were running. Well, we had 3 overhead lights or 3 double-ended phantoms, and under that we had 24 total, and there were 6 per tray. So that's what we were running, like 3, 3, and that's however many per light. And it worked. I mean, that was good. You could have more plants or less plants. More, you just have to veg them less. Less, you just have to veg them more. So, but we just, we're allowed a little bit extra plants in and all that, some medical shit. So. Cool. How did I get into the business? So I'm a medical patient, and I had scoliosis, and my spine's fused together, and so I put metal rods in my back, here to here or something, and so I started growing because it was like pain management stuff, and it was fun. So that's kind of how I actually got in. Was I was a medical patient, and it helps my back and my muscles all tightened up and all that stuff. So that's actually why I like smoking indicas more, because they relax the muscles and more CBD, stuff like that. Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I had some other stuff to do. It's been a half hour, sort of. But yeah, I will. Yeah. Seed bank recommendations. I'd go to seedsherenow.com and drop that URL here. There's that website. Actually, maybe put HTTP, but whatever. That's it, and yeah, that's that. They have a lot of good selection, U.S. based, so it's cool. Someone was asking about feminized autoflowers, so that's one thing I was going to bring up actually. We're actually going to be running a couple autoflowers because my dad's just he was just over in Amsterdam or whatever. He's like, oh man, I can get some the autoflower seeds. You ever heard of them? So yeah, give me some. So we're getting some of those opened up or cracked open sometime soon. We're going to send a little miniature thing for them. But excited to see how those go. We'll make some videos about those too. Splitting the main stalk, and then I'll wrap up after that. Let's see. I have not heard of splitting the main stalk before harvesting to produce more resin. I've never done that. I've actually never done that before, or haven't seen anybody that's done that. I know that I've split, like, because I top, and so the branches kind of grow out like this. I've had nugs that were too heavy, and they like split the stalk there, but then they just kind of, I don't know. So yeah, I've never done that. But cool, guys. Well, yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. And yeah, like I said, if you ever want to know more about some videos, let me know in the comments, all that good stuff. And we got some cocoa videos coming out pretty soon, also. So cool, guys. Later.